Hi there and welcome back. In this video we're going to look quickly at how we can set the root bridge in a spanning tree topology to be consistent. So in this case we have three switches, all layer 2 switches, and what we want is switch 0 to become the root bridge in the spanning tree topology. So all we do is we'll do a quick show spanning tree. Go through here, these are all different VLANs. We'll just go right to the top to keep things simple. You can see its default priority is set to 32769. The actual default priority is 32768, and then you append the actual VLAN number. In this case it's just 1, so it just adds increments that value by 1 basically. So currently all switches are this out of the default. All switches had the same priority as default, which would be 32769 in terms of VLAN 1. If it's VLAN 2, it would be 32770, for instance. So just increments for each VLAN number. You can see that down here with VLAN 10 actually. So we have a priority of 32778 as default there, because it's 10 greater than the default of 32768. Okay, so assuming that everything's default out of the box, what's going to happen is that going to use the MAC address to break the tie. So in spanning tree it's a bit unusual in that the priority value, the lower the priority, the more likely it is to become the root bridge. So if we wanted to, in this case we're going to set the priority to 0, which is the lowest possible value, to ensure that this switch 0 becomes the root bridge of this spanning tree topology. However, if everything is left at default, it's going to use the MAC address as the actual breaker in this point, the tiebreaker. So the switch with the lowest possible MAC address will become the root bridge. Now that's kind of a problem, because that's generally going to be the oldest switch on your network, because the lowest MAC address means it was produced first and created first. So yeah, essentially there's a very real possibility that you're going to end up with a root switch on your network in your spanning tree topology that is the oldest, most unreliable switch probably on your network. So what we're going to do is go into configuration mode, and we'll do spanning tree, and we're going to do it for, let's do it for all VLANs. In fact, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually switch the mode first on all switches. Currently it's just using standard spanning tree STP protocol. We're going to switch it to use the rapid per VLAN spanning tree, which is sort of the industry standard now. Really, you wouldn't just leave a switch in standard STP configuration. So we're going to switch the mode, and I'm also just going to quickly switch the priority on all VLANs configured. So currently we have between 1 and 99. I'm going to set the priority to 0 to ensure that this becomes a root bridge. And I'm just going to quickly jump on the other switches, and we need to switch the spanning tree mode to be the same. So spanning tree mode, oops, wrong one. We're going to use rapid per VLAN spanning tree, and we're going to do the same on the other switch here. Now it will take a few seconds for this to converge properly. So I did want to show you the mode actually. I was going to show you it in a separate video, but you would never leave STP in its current sort of default state anyway, so this is what I would always pretty much do in this kind of situation. You're going to have to wait a few seconds because the ports are actually just going through their learning cycles. But it looks to have settled down now, so let's do a quick show spanning tree. And you can see this bridge is the root. The priority on VLAN 10, for instance, in this case is 10. Above there actually, for VLAN 1 the priority is set to 1, so it's just the priority, which is 0 plus the VLAN ID, so 1 and then 10 and so on and so on. As you can see, all ports are now being forwarded on the root bridge. A root bridge never ever blocks a port. All ports are always forwarding. It's up to the other switches to actually block their ports. There we go. And generally you'll want your root bridge to be your core switch, the best switch in your network, probably right in the center of your network. In this case we've set it to switch 0, which is nice because previously actually switch 0 was blocking this interface here between switch 0 and switch 1. So it meant if that let's say we had another HRPC. I think we do actually. Okay, imagine this was a HRPC, the management box here, and it's in the HR VLAN, and so is this one over here. So to communicate between HR3 and this management box, if they were in the same VLAN, it would have had to gone to the switch, via switch 2, via switch 1, and then to HR3 the way things were previously, because this port was being blocked. Now it can just go to the switch, straight to the switch, and straight obviously to HR3, which is a much better path. We really just want switch 0 to be the root bridge. It is, because we define that with priority 0. So that's essentially the changes that I would make personally on a network like this. I would switch the priority to be something, make sure the switch is where I actually want it to be, and make sure the root is exactly, the switch that I want to be the root bridge. And also, I would change the from the default spanning tree mode of just standard STP protocol to the rapid per VLAN spanning tree in this instance. Yeah, any questions? Give me a shout. Spanning tree it's a huge subject actually. Once you start talking about load balancing VLANs and making different VLANs go different directions on the network, so we have different root bridges for different VLANs to get sort of load balancing. That's beyond the scope of the CCNA for sure. There are learning states that you'll need to learn for the CCNA. I'll not go through them right now. There's plenty of documentation on that you can read. This is just purely a lab to show you how to configure spanning tree. So any questions, give me a shout as always. I'm always happy to answer and help out with that. If you do have any questions about spanning tree port states specifically, then reach out to me. But other than that, this is just a basic config. I'd like to thank you for viewing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.